So I'd like to welcome all of you to the January meeting of the Homebrew Robotics Club. My name is Osman Ralph. I'm the president of the club, and this is the first meeting of the new year. So welcome, everybody. Chris.
I paid the last meeting.
First of all, who is new to the club or who's never been to a meeting before? Great. Okay. Excellent. Quite a few people. Thanks for coming. The way that the meeting works is that we first go over any club news or robot-related news that people have. And then we have show and tell, and that's where people bring robots that they're working on. Whether it's completely functional or not, it doesn't matter. We love to see robots in any stage of development. This is a robot builders club, so we really encourage people to actually build robots and bring them to show. It's always inspiring to see what other people are working on. And then probably around 8 o'clock or so, we'll have a presentation. Our presentation this evening is going to be a gentleman from Kiwi Robotics. They are doing last mile, or trying to tackle the last mile delivery problem. They have a company that's delivering pizzas up in, I think it's up in Berkeley currently. And he's going to talk about his robots and the business and the general problem, the logistical problem of delivering items from point of sale to actually delivering it to a person. So that should be an interesting talk. So we do have a couple pieces of club-related news that I want to talk about. As many of you know, RoboGames is no more, unfortunately. For those of you who don't know, RoboGames was, I think it was the world's largest robotics competition. It happened to be locally here in the Bay Area. Unfortunately, the gentleman who was organizing it decided not to do it anymore, and so last year was the last year. But we do have a couple other events that are hoping to kind of fill the void of RoboGames, and they're going to be organized by people in this club. So I don't see...
Top people. Top people.
Top people. Okay. Well, they'll certainly be top of my list after putting all the effort into organizing these events. Is Francisco here? Yes. Okay. So the two events that we're hoping to hold this spring, and I'll let Francisco talk a little bit more about it. But Maker Faire is coming up in May. I think it's May 15th. 15th, 16th, 17th. It's like the third weekend of May. And the Homebrew Club has always had not always, but for the past few years, Camp has been hosting that and organizing that for our club. So we've always had a presence at Maker Faire, and we're going to continue to do so. But Francisco has volunteered to organize a robotics competition at Maker Faire, and maybe you want to tell people a little bit more about where you are in the planning phase and what we've got in store.
Thank you. How's everybody doing?
All right.
All right. So my name is Francisco. I've been part of this the Homebrew Robotics Club about 2 months. I competed last year at the RoboGames, and I fell in love with it. I competed. I fell in love with robotics. Started building. I got second place in the Balancing Robot competition, and I was like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. So I fell in love with robotics, and I hope so. I know some of you guys share the same passion. So the thing is, when I heard that the RoboGames was not going to happen anymore, I got sad, and but I wanted to continue that going. So thanks to the Homebrew Robotics Club and another lady that helped us get the connection with Makers Faire, they're going to allow us to have a competition at the Makers Faire. Now, it's not going to be as big as RoboGames. It is going to be about half the size, hopefully less than half the size. So, we're not going to be able to admit as many as people that like RoboGames. I'm sure RoboGames had like a limit of 32 competitors per challenge or event. Now we're only going to have about 16. So I'm just going to go over the list of the competitions that we're going to be having. If you're interested, you can talk to me after the meeting, and I'll give you some more details. But we're going to be going with biped race humanoids, freestyle humanoids, 500 gram sumo for junior league, best of show for junior league, line follower for junior league, tabletop navigation open, similar to the one we have here, musical arbots, painting arbots, kung fu humanoids, stair climbing humanoids, balancer robot, best of show open, firefighting open, line follower open, and 1 kilogram sumo, the sumo event. So it's going to be going on from the 17th and the 18th, which will be a Saturday and Sunday. We wanted to do a 3-day competition, but Makers Fair wants to do an educational event for the kids on Friday. So we're going to be doing the competition on Saturday and Sunday. All right. The other things, I do want to invite people, international competitors and teams. So I do have a mailing list. It's for those who competed at the RoboGames last year. I did add some teams that have never competed at the RoboGames as well. So we do want to make sure that people from out of the country come in and compete, right? I'm not here, I don't want to replace RoboGames. I hope that RoboGames comes back, but this is just something that to keep us going and keep the hobby going, okay? So if you want to be a volunteer, you want to help me out, talk to me after the meeting. We can go over some details and how you can help us. We do need some volunteers, but what we need the most is going to be competitors. Now, so like I said, if you want to talk to me after the meeting, you can go ahead and do so. Thank you.
Where's the place that people can go to get more information? Do you have a website?
That's actually, so I did hire a team in India, so they're working on. Hey, I can't afford Americans yet. So, but the thing is, so they're working on the website right now. They're having the process is going to be kind of similar, like how we register for the competitions. For now, it's still under construction. It should be done hopefully by next week. But I will put the information on the mailing list.
Okay. Excellent. Yeah. So before you go, so logistically, the way that we are thinking of framing this event is that it's going to be the whatever it's called, RoboJam seems to be one of the more popular names, but it's going to be the RoboJam at Maker Faire, sponsored by, and then a list of organizations, of which Homebrew would be one of the major sponsors. So we will be providing volunteers. We'll be publicizing this heavily on our Google group. We'll be providing financial support if necessary, materials, all those kinds of things, because this is exactly the kind of event that our club wants to sponsor. We want to foster robotics development in any form, and so this is a perfect venue for that. So we are, and I am very grateful that Francisco has taken this on, because it's a huge challenge. And hopefully, my hope is that it becomes successful and eventually moves beyond Maker Faire, that it becomes so big that it has a venue of its own, similar to RoboGames.
And the thing is, coordinating this whole competition is that we only have to focus on competitors and volunteers, because there's going to be people go to RoboGames to the Makers Faire every year. So what I noticed in RoboGames is that when you were competing, there was only other competitors watching your competition, but in this scenario, you're going to be able to, the public's going to be able to look at your competition. So it should be exciting for everybody.
Yeah, you get the spectators for free, because
yes,
there's thousands of them walking around.
And the space for free. They're willing to, so they are going to give us the space for free. All we have to do is get the competition, get the competition ready and deliver, pretty much. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Thanks very much. For more information about that. So that's exciting. We also have another robot-related event that we're going to be hosting, and this one is going to be a HBRC-hosted event. And Ralph, do you want to talk about that?
Ralph Hips, ladies and gentlemen.
Cool. Let's see. Fire this thing again. So, right. Insert it. There we go. That should be good. Here we go. Oh, don't do that. Hang on a sec. Maybe this, buddy. There we go. Figured it out eventually. It's kind of like my robot code. I figured it out eventually. But along the lines of really depressed about robo games going away. I had this idea a while back and didn't really pull the trigger on it, but to do something where we get to do RoboJam, mainly, and something outdoors. So I just thought I'd throw something together, call it the BotNic. It's going to be outdoors, picnic, baylands, and primarily focused on RoboJam, but also perhaps doing a sample robotics retrieval challenge kind of a thing, maybe after the RoboJam event. Not a lot of people have built a retrieval bot with an SSL thing. A couple people have, obviously, but if there's anybody who wants to do that, I thought this would be a venue to do it. After we maybe do RoboJam. And Osmond had mentioned too, this is a pretty open place. If somebody wants to do a drone event, maybe in the morning before the winds kick up, we could do something there too. But we would need somebody to kind of step up and run that, create an event for that. But just real quick about what my idea was for this. So it's BotNic, outdoor challenges, RoboJam, etc. Casual, fun, low key, low stress. Nobody dies, when we're winning this thing or anything like that. Just want to take a stab at this and see how many people show up.
Is that BotNic like a picnic?
Yes.
Or is it BotNic like I really love robots?
Yeah. Exactly. And I figure we'll do like a volunteer thing. Basically, if you want to compete, volunteer to help set up or clean up or something.
How about a potluck dinner?
Potluck dinner, maybe. They have. I like it. They have barbecue pits, so perhaps maybe somebody can work on organizing that. We'll see what the volunteer thing is.
Barbecue the losers.
Maybe the losing bot gets barbecued. But if we don't barbecue, then we'll just bring your own, bring a sandwich or something. But whatever, casual, low key. I'll post these slides too on the alias. But it's at Baylands. I have a bunch of supplies for doing this stuff. But if people want to bring some stuff that would help, I assume we need to all be members to do the BotNic for liability reasons, right? If you want to show them to do
We'll have to look into that. Probably it will require membership, but I'm not sure yet.
And then maybe do, if this goes well, people like it, we'll do some more of this, either during the summer or in September timeframe. I have a Google folder and a sign-up sheet, Google Doc already set up for this. So people want to sign up, they can start doing that. Here's where Baylands is, 237 on Lawrence, basically. And you South Bay folks, I'm sure, know where it is. Here's the map of the park. And kind of the lower, just to the right of the middle is the spot we have. It's the idea is to sort of get there when it opens at 8, stake out this little space here so we can use that in the field there for the events. And the blue area in particular would be where the event would be held. The red area is sort of our space. And so you can kind of see there's a covered area there. There's picnic tables, barbecue pits. Just to the bottom right of that red rectangle, that's where the restrooms are. It's right there, so it's very convenient. I thought of everything. And this is a Magellan bot, very famous one, as we all know. And so Magellan rules will be the same as the SRS Seattle Robotics Society rules, basically. It's just a GPS navigation event, touching cones, and we'll probably have maybe 4 cones, and if you touch extra cones, we'll have some multiplier or divider factor to
Bonus cone.
Yeah, bonus cones to reduce your time. It's a timed event, start to finish, but with bonus cones to reduce your time. That kind of thing, and some more details about the robot, but you can look all that later. But I think most of us have a pretty good idea of what RoboJam is, more or less. And so if you've never done it before, it's a neat event, and you get to use GPS and or wheel odometry and a compass and things like that to
4x4 by 4, not 10 feet. No work.
Yeah, well, the 10 I think is the they allow like a mast now. You can't have like 4x4 by 10, but you can have a little mast that sticks up with like a camera way up high. You know, so you can, in case there's like a shrubbery or something you need to see over. Yeah, stuff like that. And
10-foot envelope is for the civilian.
I've never heard of
yeah, and then you can do that too. And actually not the RoboJam, but the other event. Anyway, so in this traditional GPS, not this fancy differential GPS stuff, and you can do those military GPS centimeter accurate stuff, but you know, whatever. You can read all that in the rules. So again, if you've, how many people have done RoboJam? I'm just curious. Yeah. Fun event. If you want to do something outdoors instead of like on the table indoors later on this year, it's a good one to take a stab at. And then, of course, this is another famous spot with the dreaded purple rock there, as you can all see that. And so this will be the sort of bonus event. I'm assuming probably not very many people are going to sign up to do this, but I want to tack it on because I want to do it. It was me. And if anybody else wants to do it, obviously we'll do that. So this is following the NASA style competition where certain technologies are disallowed. Like you can't use a compass, you can't use GPS, you can't use air, things like that. Like you mentioned, you're on an off-world someplace, the moon or something. So there's certain limitations, which makes it interesting to try to navigate without GPS. Yeah.
I assume you've removed the $1 million prize category.
Austin has a magic donor. I think that's going to come into the last minute.
We have so many in our coffers, but not that much.
Yeah, we probably won't have that this time. But anyway, I'd love to try to squeeze this in as an extra event. I thought about a couple of different levels here. Maybe level 1 would be, don't worry about the restricted technology. Use whatever you need to use to go out and fetch a sample and bring it back. You have to go out and find the sample, pick it up, bring it back to where you started from. And then level 2, level 3, you then have to deal with the NASA restrictions of no GPS, etc. So it could be an interesting event.
No restrictions on technology?
Yeah, so like the in the middle there, disallowed technology. So NASA wouldn't
No
let
flux capacitors.
no flux capacitors. No compasses, none of that stuff. No ultrasonics. So it has an effect on your obstacle avoidance potentially, things like that. So there you go. Right, and then this is there's two basic samples I was going to bring potentially. This is what they call the pre-cache sample or the level 1 sample, whatever you want to call it. Big white cylinder with a hook, pretty easy to pick up. So I've got a couple of those. I've got a couple of purple rocks. Purple rocks are the evil purple rocks.
Yes.
So I've got this one,
Purple rocks.
9.5 ounces. I got another one that's a little heavier, just over a pound. So I'll bring those. So, and I'll publish all this. But one of the things I've been thinking about that I haven't figured out yet is the border fence, or where we mark off our territory. And in the NASA event, they use this orange fencing, which Mike and I have about 100 feet of this. But then if we're going to use the same fencing first for RoboJam, orange fence and orange cones, traffic cones, that don't work out so well, probably. So I'm thinking instead of that, maybe using this yellow police tape. And if you're not familiar with this, just ask Mike. He's pretty familiar with it. Yeah. So it's probably what we use for border fencing is this yellow tape. And that's pretty much it. I know there was one other thing. If we really want to get fancy, we'll have a starting platform. This is the NASA-style starting platform, so you actually have to roll off of this thing. Go find this stuff, pick it up, and then come back to this thing and roll up onto it to complete the event.
Who's got Max?
That's kind of fancy.
Does Max have Max?
It's up in Seattle.
Up in Seattle, yeah. So we'll see if we do this or not. I don't know. You can see in this picture there's a little doodad just off of the platform. You can put stuff there to help you get back and find the platform in the NASA rules, but it depends on how many people want to get between now or mail in. I do have this, which is sort of a crude platform, and I have an extra piece of wood that's the ramp. So on one side I have a ramp up, but I don't have a 3-sided platform like this and stuff like this. So we'll see how that goes. But one way to kind of get yourself lined back up onto the platform, I was going to envision I have a couple of PVC pipes I was going to put behind the platform, one red, one yellow, So you could theoretically align yourself as you come in, even though, because there's only a ramp on one side of my platform, so you can't just come in through any angle. Something like this I might provide for folks if we get that far. Yeah?
You should have the red piece of PVC pipe lower than the one in the back of it so you can get a perspective.
Good day, Mark.
Yeah, so you can still see the yellow one just over the top of it or something like that. So you know you're, that's a good idea. Yeah.
I had a very simple modulated LED that I can pick up with a really simple circuit. And so if you had multiple, let's say, illuminated pieces of acrylic or something with LEDs, now we can actually hear tones with, you know, whether you got to go left or right, and then if someone wants to chase down the rest of that project.
Interesting. Yeah, well, and then in the NASA, I mean, you could put whatever you want. You could build your own, you know, home platform thingy, you know, to help you get back. And so if you could build almost anything you wanted to do that.
One of the things that was developed for Max but not used was a sun compass, basically a circle of photo sensors in a dome that could detect the angle that the sun was at.
Yeah, good idea. Because you can't use a magnetic compass, you can't use GPS, so, but you are allowed to use celestial navigation, which includes the sun.
And of course,
you know,
only works if you don't have a cloudy day.
Yeah, or if you're doing it during the day, not at night. Yeah, so that's a great idea, is use solar compass. Right? Anyone wants to build one of those. So anyway, that's pretty much it. I want to post all this stuff. There's a sign-up sheet already in my Google folder. I want to put this on the alias. Encourage people to sign up, come check it out, at least for maybe the RoboJam event. And if somebody wants to run a drone event, you know, let us know. And if you want to do the retrieval thing too, hey, great. Okay, there it is. We got our first sign-up. Okay, anyway, great. Thanks for your time. Appreciate it.
Thanks for taking on this project. We've been talking about it for a long time. And I think it'll be a good complement to what's going to happen at Maker Faire. Maker Faire is generally smaller, tabletop-sized robots. We can't do outdoor robots at Maker Faire. There's just not enough room. So that's what we're going to do at BotNic. And for those people who have drones or like playing with drones, we don't have an opportunity here at our meeting to do drones, or we can't do drones at the Maker Faire event. So we'll see if people have any interest in that, and so we'll do that next year if we do the BotNic again, or in the fall. We might do the BotNic again in the fall. Okay, so that's kind of what's been going on with the club and club news. I think we'll go into show and tell. Oh, you have something, Chris? Yes.
Mr. Mayor, ladies and gentlemen.
The computer's gone. I was going to show a few things up, but that's okay. I wanted to talk about three really quick things. Number one is wanted to make sure everybody was aware of all of our challenges. Can't post them up here, but go to the website. Just wanted to remind everybody, this year you want to get one of these certificates for solving one of our challenges. Second thing is badges. If you would like to be a paid member, come see me, and I will get your badges and print them for next meeting.
2019, people.
2019.
2019.
Third thing, if you notice Ralph's cool t-shirt, my cool t-shirt, I actually have, it expires at the end of this month. If anyone's interested and was thinking of getting one, I will give you this $15 off coupon, and I just wanted to bring it in case anybody wanted it. So that's it. Give me $10, get your badge, buy a t-shirt. Second thing is, I will volunteer to the drone thing, and I will be bringing hopefully some autonomous drones.
Awesome. All right, so we'll have at least one drone.